The year was 2016, it was my first year of high school, and also it was Pokemon's 20th anniversary. And let me tell you, it was one of the greatest times to be a Pokemon fan. With the release of Pokemon Go, the monthly mythical distributions, a special Pokemon TCG set, a Pokemon themed Splatfest in Splatoon, and the announcement of Pokemon Sun and Moon, which released later that year. And during this time, I was watching a lot of Pokemon videos on YouTube, like the Aura Guardian, Dobbs, the Supreme Arcanines, Candy Eevee, and one day I stumbled upon Unlisted Leaf, who does Pokemon card openings, and his videos made me appreciate how awesome Pokemon cards are. So one day after school, I remember begging my mother to let me go to EB Games just so I can buy a few Pokemon packs. Then I got home and started opening them, and I managed to pull the sick looking Darkrai EX card. And for the last 8 years, I've managed to build myself such an amazing collection, even filled up quite a few binders, and have also made so many amazing memories. And more recently, I got myself a triple pack of Paldean Fates. Then I opened the first pack, and I pulled a full art shiny Mew in that first pack. And I was already freaking out just because of that. But then I opened the second pack, and then I pulled a full art shiny Gardevoir. And then I was freaking out even more. But then I remembered I still had one more pack. Like, there's no way I'm gonna get something amazing on this last pack, right? Then I opened the final pack, and I somehow, I don't know how this even happened, but I pulled the special illustration shiny Mew EX card. How? Just how does that even happen? How? Just tell me how. How on earth did that happen? So first I got the shiny Mew, then I got the shiny Gardevoir, and then the secret illustration shiny Mew? Like, what? I remember being in absolute shock when it happened. Heck, I'm still even shocked about it. I'm even shocked right now. I'm even shocked reading the freaking script that I somehow managed to pull those 3 amazing cards back to back to back. Oh my god, bro. Jeez, I gotta calm myself down. And the worst part about that, I didn't even get it on camera. Also, can we just appreciate how beautiful the artwork looks on these cards? Like, for example, look how badass this Yveltal card looks. We also got Chansey working at a Pokemon Center. Here we have Charmander intensely staring at this Pidgey through the window. Here we got Swablu just sitting next to a bunch of Wingulls while looking like an absolute Chad. I've always loved this Jessie and James card with Meowth and Wobbuffet in the background. Also, can we just appreciate how amazing some of these trainer cards look? I also love how some of these cards can just tell a story. For example, the illustration Ralts, Curlier, and Gardevoir EX from the base Scarlet and Violet set. Also, I'm just blown away how beautiful this holographic water energy is. Like, god damn! This has to be one of the best holographic cards I've ever seen. And also, my favorite Pokemon card is this Greninja promo card. I'm also going to say that this is my favorite artwork of Greninja. I remember when I got this card, I was literally staring at it for hours. And also, Greninja is my favorite Pokemon of all time. Also, speaking of Greninja, I'm actually trying to collect every single Greninja card. Let's just hope one of these days I can pull the special illustration rare soon. Like, there are so many amazing looking Pokemon cards out there. Like, I can talk about them for hours, but I don't want to drag out this video for too long, so yeah. I would also like to mention that there are 2 main types of people who buy Pokemon cards. There's the type of people who like to collect them, and then we have the people who actually play the card game. I remember playing a bit of the card game with my cousin when I was younger, but I wasn't really deep into it. Recently, I was talking to one of my friends, and we were on the topic of card games, and then we started talking about the Pokemon card game. And after that conversation, I was starting to think about picking it up again. And then one day, during my trip to the Gold Coast, I decided to purchase this Meowscarada EX deck. Then, when I got back to the room, I downloaded the Pokemon TCG Live app, and I was absolutely hooked. I'll give you guys a quick summary of how a game of Pokemon cards works. Both players must have a deck of 60 cards, no more, no less, containing 3 types of cards: Pokemon, trainers, as well as energy cards. Your Pokemon being the main focus of the game are your main way of doing damage to your opponent's Pokemon if it's in the active spot. You can also place up to 5 other Pokemon in the bench. Trainer cards are really good for supporting your team. And then there's also the energy cards. You must have the required amount of energies attached to your Pokemon for your Pokemon to use that attack. There are also 3 ways to win the game: being able to pick up all your prize cards by knocking out your opponent's Pokemon. You can also win if you knock out all your opponent's Pokemon in play. And you can also win if your opponent has run out of cards to draw at the beginning of their turn. And yeah, that's pretty much the basics of the game. I recommend giving this video a watch, which does go into more detail about it. When I started playing, the deck that I was running was this Meowscarada EX deck, with Meowscarada being the main attacker with its ability, allowing it to put 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's bench Pokemon if you discard a grass energy from your hand. This actually goes really well with its attack, Scratchy Nails, which normally does 100 damage. But if your opponent's active Pokemon has any damage counters on it, this attack does an additional 120 more damage, dealing a total of 220 damage. And this is paired up really good with Radiant Alakazam, with its ability allowing it to move up to 2 damage counters from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another one of their Pokemon. I've also decided to run Pidgeot EX in this deck because of its ability Quick Search, which allows me to search for my deck for any card and put it into my hand. And let me tell you, this card has helped me out an absolute crap ton of times. And also, here's the deck list in case you want to try this deck out for yourself. And I feel like ever since I've started playing the Pokemon TCG has made me start to see these cards in a whole new different light. And it's just made collecting these cards so much more special. I really hope to start participating in tournaments as well as regionals soon. Heck, maybe one day I'll participate in the Pokemon World Championships. But I'd hardly doubt that would ever happen. Who knows? Maybe one day. And I also just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Who knows, maybe this video might have inspired some of you guys to start playing the Pokemon TCG. And if you do, let me know in the comments below and let me know how it's going. But yeah guys, that's gonna be it for today. And until next time, Mudkip.